watch, be here. And, for us, I told the guys this with game day and everything coming here as well, for the guys to try to take as much off of their plate, other than maybe a few extra interviews towards the end of the week. Just the main thing is that they get prepared to play the best football game that they've played this year. Or, I always challenge them to play the best football game they've ever played in their career. And so that's what matters when it comes down to what we can control. And but yeah, it is kind of cool that we have a lot of people who want to come be a part of the atmosphere and add to the excitement, energy that the game will bring.
Go to Kalen on the left side.
Hey, Kalen. Obviously, this is your first kind of experience with SEC play. And I mean, having, coached against SEC teams, whether it be at Eastern Michigan, Indiana, what were your perceptions of those teams? What made those SEC teams different? And kind of, is it kind of going into like what you expect? I mean, Georgia's kind of an outlier, but like, I mean, is it kind of going to what to expect in terms of your personal coaching approach of SEC play?
Yeah, I think you're asking, before I came here, right? Kind of what the perception was. I think, you always just felt like physicality, right? Speed. And I think as much as anything, you sometimes had a player here or player there that could line up and compete against that person across from them. But the problem is, especially with special teams, the magnitude and depth of a roster in the SEC. And, when one guy comes out, another guy comes in and he's almost just as good, if, not as good. And so what that does is that gives the guy that went off the field a chance to get a breather and come out and be fresh. And so, that's to me a big part of what makes the SEC, what it is. You got your top tier, top round draft picks that are out there making plays for you, the physicality, the speed, game breakers on both sides of the ball at all times. And then you have the depth of that being much deeper than what most programs are able to have. Pretty much all programs are able to have.
We'll go back to the right side to Charlie.
Yeah, hey, Coach, when you watch film of this Georgia defense, what's the first thing that kind of jumps off the screen to you?
Well, I think you're always going to, again, kind of almost the same line with same answer I just gave is you're going to have a lot of physicality. You're going to have speed, but you got a system that's in place where guys are understanding, and trusting who's going to be where. And so, what you got to try to do is create the opportunities with your matchups, create opportunities and try to do what you can do to get a step or maybe, have that defense freeze or flinch. That's offensive football. You try to do that any week, but that's what becomes a bigger test when you have a program like this that has so much continuity in what they've been doing, because of their system and especially on the defensive side of the ball.
A couple questions from the back middle. Ryan, go ahead.
Coach, not a lot of people have had success against Georgia in the past. One team that has is Alabama. What have you used kind of having Jalen on your side and Malachi and some of the players that have played against this kind of team before to your advantage going into this week?
Well, you look back to last year, right? And this is a new team. This is a new season. And that's what I always make sure we're emphasizing. This is the 2024 Alabama Crimson Tide football team, but there's certainly learning moments that you have when you've been through the experiences. And that's not obviously me, that's our players, as you mentioned, that can take those experiences and give them confidence, give them an understanding of what it takes, and you try to give them the platform. You try to give them a chance to be able to spread what they've learned to the rest of the team, and understanding it's going to be a 4-quarter game. Understand that there's going to be ebbs and flows of the game, that, it's going to be, the physicality isn't just going to be here and there. It's every single play. So you got to be on your game, on your A game, the entire start to finish, and do it as long as it's needed, considering no matter how long the game goes. So that you take those guys with those experiences, and you make sure that they get a chance to spread what they've learned with the rest of the football team.
Jamie?
Hey, Coach, everything's a first for you here. Just how are you feeling heading into coaching such a huge game like Alabama and Georgia?
Yeah, there's, I mean, yeah, every game, like you said, is a first. First road trip, first game in Bryant Denny, first conference game. But I think what you really just try to do is you just simplify it down. Any big game, and the next one is always the biggest one, right? You win this one, the next one becomes the bigger one, and so forth. And so, for us, it's just really honing in and trying to simplify it down to what you really have control of. And it's making sure our energy, attitude, and effort is on point, that we're going to continue to fight, in the midst of the battle that's going to happen on Saturday, but that our preparation is, 100% where it needs to be, because that's what's going to give you the confidence. That's what's going to give you the belief and trust when it comes to those big moments that are going to present themselves on Saturday.
Go to Chase on the left side.
You mentioned at the top guys healing up during the off week. Can you be specific at all about how things look for Quay Rousseau and Malachi Moore?
Yeah, I would expect Malachi, that was just a matter of time, working through his situation. He's out there practicing already at the end of last week. And with Quay, still taking the steps, still working through his situation. And, I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic with Quay. We'll just have to see as we evaluate throughout the week what that looks like for him.
Go to Kennington on the right side.
Along those same lines, what's the status of Cole Adams and Richard Young?
Yep. Cole practiced, here, not 100% of practice, but he's out there competing and doing some things with the activities that we have, even some competitive drills. And so we're just working him back slowly, and then Richard is the same case. So he's been out there, been in uniform and going through the drills, and working back slowly with the bye week. You never want to not push, but we also had to make sure we're doing this smart with these guys and not setting themselves up for any setbacks. And so both those guys are kind of in the same boat too.
Go to Steven back left.
Coach, over the bye week, how did you see a young player like Yancey Pierre take steps forward for this week against Georgia?
Yeah, he's got a taste of it, and so once that happens, there's an excitement that happens, and it's fun seeing, a guy like that, realize that every day matters, that his growth is just exponentially going to happen, especially at his age. And so, him taking, those practices seriously is what you love to see, so that he can prove to himself, prove to his teammates, prove to his coaches, all of us that, he's headed in the right direction, and, wanting to be prepared for getting on the football field more and more each and every week.
Go to Emily Grace in the front right here.
Coach, in terms of time of possession, your team and Georgia are almost identical. How do you gain separation in that area, and how significant is that point of emphasis on Saturday?
Yeah, time of possession is always an interesting stat, right? Just because, we saw in one game at the beginning of the season, our time of possession was not in our favor drastically. Explosive plays and things like that. And I feel scoring points is what it's all about. And in order to score points, you do have to have explosive plays. There's just statistical analysis that shows that. But there is a piece to also not being having one side of the ball on the football field, especially your defense, and how that will wear you down. And especially in a game like this, when it's going to be physical, you want to have that opportunity to play team football. You want to make sure that exists, so that one side of the ball, especially your defense, isn't out there becoming vulnerable as the game goes on. We take a lot of pride in being a second half team, being a fourth quarter team, whether that's our, understanding and learning of what we've seen in the first half and applying it, or especially with the fourth quarter and the physical training that comes along with being prepared and being able to be great when those moments and big times come.
Go to Tony in the middle, left side there.
This is the first time since 2007 that Alabama's been not favored at home. What's your approach to maybe built-in bulletin board material? Is it something that you embrace, or is it something you try to get the players to block out? How do you kind of go about that?
I mean, that's no one's fault that that's the case, but obviously there's going to be, even if there's one doubter, right? It falls along with the Lank mentality, and that's what we get to do is let any of the naysayers, know what we're capable of, and that's no one's fault. That's what it is. That's a tribute to what people see in Georgia and how high level of a football team that they have, and to their credit, that's exactly what they are. And then for us, it's just a matter of doing what we can do, and making sure that we present the best version of what we can be on Saturday, again, through great preparation, great focus, making sure that, we're feeling great about what we have, because we do. We feel like we have a football team that is a top tier team that just every day is going to continue to get better. And, that's not just this week. That's not just next week. That's all season long. And so, we really feel the sky's the limit. You have to catch some breaks here along the way, whether that's health or those big moments in games that, get the swing in your favor. And so, you create those breaks. And that's, again, where us just going to work, focusing on the main thing, focusing on ourselves, focusing on us. That's what matters most.
A couple questions from the way back, far left. Let's go. Yeah. Go ahead. Yep. And then we'll give Jonathan.
All right, sounds good. Kalen, you mentioned the big atmosphere, 2 against 4, playoff-like atmosphere, really in the middle of the regular season. I mean, how much is a game like this, an environment like this, part of the reason you decide to take that leap and go all the way across the country to coach at a place like Alabama?
Yeah, no question. And I told our guys that, yesterday when we met, kind of, even though there was some work done the end of last week, schematically, offense, defense, when we got together as a team, we just talked about the game and really having some perspective. And you're exactly right. You come to this place here at Alabama to be a part of games that, gather a lot of attention, to be in an atmosphere and environment that's just special and different. And so embrace it, embrace the challenges, embrace the things that are going to come our way against great football teams. And that's, what you got to love about being a competitor. And so, yes, you're exactly right. We came here to, all of us, different journeys, players, staff, came here in different ways to be a part of something like this that you're going to see here this week and on Saturday.
Coach, over the past few years, Georgia has had a lot of success in these big regular season games when there's a lot of hype. Why do you think that is? And then 2, how do you guys try and match that as a program?
Yeah, there's got to be a belief and trust. And when it comes to close games, you can see finding a way, comes down to, wanting it, preparing, because you do want it, preparing in a special way. And they've just got great continuity, and the physicality you see, the scheme, the schemes, schematics, especially defense that goes way back. I mean, Coach Smart, has implemented his system and has a lot of people now around him that have carried that on over the years as well. Offensively, now you see some carry over the last couple of years with consistency there. And so with that comes confidence, with that comes belief. And for us, that's what we're establishing too. That's what we're working on daily, is to just really be efficient in putting that into our program, creating that. It happens because of the success our guys have had together. But I think now, you're just trying to offensively, defensively, special teams wise, just trying to keep it simple so they can go out there and play fast, but also make it complex enough to where it's tough to defend.
All right, we'll finish up with Katie on the left side here.
You've already talked about this a little bit, but this is the first time in more than a decade that Alabama's first SEC game is against a top 10 team. Kind of how do you feel about being welcomed to the SEC like that, with that being your first game? But also kind of how can you learn a lot about your team by jumping into SEC play against such a high quality opponent?
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I actually didn't know that, but yeah, it's welcome to the SEC, right? But it's going to happen throughout the season, right? There's going to be a lot of great teams that we're going to face. And so being at your best, that's what's required of me. That's required of all of us. And, that's comes down to just going to work, rolling up your sleeves and enjoying all that comes with these big challenges that are in front of you each and every week.
Thank you, Coach.
Awesome. Thank you, Roll Tide.
Are brought to you by McCurry Motors.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown and abuse you? You're tired.
Well, the lunchtime whistle and the morning's finally done. I'm jumping in my car, I'm gonna have a little fun. The Doghouse Network's on my radio dial. Big Dog's taking care of business for a while. If you're listening to another station I don't understand, if nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
Give us a call, Steve.
He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the Junkyard Dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Titan Tiger Land, nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Overreaction Monday in the Doghouse Post. Kalen DeBeor comments. I'm trying to figure out who he sounds like to me. Kind of sounds like Tom Brady. You know what I mean? I'm listening to him. He just kind of sounds like Tom Brady to me. I'm not sure. But as usual, every Monday, we have the Kalen DeBeor comments to open up the show. Those were live, by the way. That's not something recorded. If it was recorded, I'd open the show and then throw it to Kalen DeBeor. But we don't. We take them live. So you get that right there. Now, remember, I moved Tom Luganville to Tuesdays since we're truncated on Mondays. And I didn't want to be rushed into Tommy, who comes in at 12:30. So he'll come in at 12:30 on Tuesdays. And I wanted you guys to have plenty of time to get in and comment on whatever you needed to get off your chest. So have at it today. And I'm going to mix my thoughts in as well. Now, we need to discuss what's going on the Plains. The results are staggering. For the second time in 4 weeks, Auburn lost at home as a favorite to a team they beat on the road last year. Hugh Freeze has a transfer quarterback that he wanted, and he has a redshirt freshman that he recruited all the way back at his Liberty days. And he can't get these guys to stop throwing the ball to the other team. He was brought in to provide explosive offense, and they've scored 31 points or produced 450 or more yards exactly once in the 12 games they've played against Power 4 conference teams. Once he's done that. He's 4-8 in those games. I mean, Brian Harsin thinks that record sucks. Remember when he was the better choice over Lane Kiffin to lead this team? It's like, no, we want Lane Kiffin. Not that guy. Ole Miss is rolling. They're ranked 6th in the AP poll, with many of the voters having them in the top 5. By the way, wait till I tell you what Reese Davis, Alabama grad Reese Davis, he's an AP voter. Let's tell you what his poll looks like. You might be surprised a little bit. He needs some answer some questions going into game day in Tuscaloosa. But look, Freeze is thawing rapidly. And I get it. It's just year 2. We're not even to the halfway point of year. I get it. But they have regressed from last year. They're looking 4-8, right in the chops right now. I had them at 8-4. They're looking 4-8, right in the chops. And that's if they can beat Vandy at home. And that's not a given based on the way Vandy looked at Missouri. I'm not sure they can do that. So react to that, Auburn fan. Also on Saturday, the Big Ten and the SEC welcomed a couple of name brands to their conferences in a big way as Tennessee went to Norman and showed Oklahoma a thing or two, and Michigan ran all over USC, dropping nearly 300 yards of rushing on them. Now, USC passed for 300 yards, but the old adage still stands. The old adage still stands. If you run for 300 yards, you always beat the team that passed for 300. If you got one team that passed for 300 and another team that ran for 300, the team that ran for 300 won the game. It's always that way. Now, they had to hold on late. They were controlling the game, and then USC takes the lead, and then Michigan wins late. Remember, I had Michigan in that and beat the big dog. So I liked Michigan in that game. More so I didn't like USC. Because Michigan went all Big Ten and passed for 32 yards in the game. 32 yards in the game. That's what Michigan did. 32 yards. What is it, 1967? 32 yards. So sure, the AP put Michigan at number 12 in the country, but come on. There are at least 5 or 6 teams behind them in the poll that would beat Michigan. Clemson would beat Michigan. They would. Clemson's starting to do Clemson kind of things with their offense. Speaking of the polls, Missouri took a hit, by the way, dropping 5 spots to number 11 after needing a shanked Vandy field goal in OT. Vandy just going Vandy there in OT to beat the Doors at home. And now only 5 of the top 6 teams in the country are from the SEC. A little slippage from the SEC. It's SEC, Ohio State, SEC. And, of course, this is Alabama-Georgia week, as you just heard from Kalen DeBeor. The Dogs are a 2-point favorite in Tuscaloosa. That's making all kinds of news. Now it's on all the sports websites and everything. We were talking about this last week. I told you that they were going to be a dog. I ran all the numbers, it's the first time since 2007 in the LSU game, and they had LSU beat 2.5 minutes ago in the game. LSU scores a touchdown, and Alabama gets the ball back, and John Parker Wilson gets sacked, and then he gets sacked and strip sacked, and he fumbles, and LSU puts it in and beats Alabama. In Nick Saban's first year now in Tuscaloosa, when he had no guys drafted into the NFL. So we talked about that already. It's going to be an epic game. It's going to be epic. And to be honest, both fan bases probably should be wanting a close game here. Because you can't look. You can say, I want my team to blow them out, man. I just want to see the Tide blow out them Dogs. Just want to see that them Georgia Bulldogs go in there and just take Alabama out behind the woodshed. But if I told you right now that it was a 27-24 game either way, both sides would probably say, 27-24, we're both going to be in the playoffs. And look, as good as Tennessee has looked, Oklahoma did make them look kind of mortal, holding the Vols to 345 yards and 25 points. And that Sooner offense has problems. They don't know who their quarterback's going to be. They got issues. So hold off on printing those Tennessee SEC championship T-shirts for a bit. The Vols were averaging 690 yards a game and 40,000 points a game, and they had 25 and 345. They looked like a regular football team. They didn't look like they were playing, a high school team. All right, lines are open 256-576-4977. You can text the show 732-9TA-SHOW, 732-982-7469. It's a great way to communicate with us. My X feed at Thom Abraham Show. The Zone is on X at 97.7 ESPN. You can follow it ESPN Winchester as well at ESPN Winchester, WCDT, our Tennessee affiliate. Check out our YouTube channel at WZZN TV. Please subscribe to that bad boy as well. Zone has an app as well that you need to have. Not as many games as usual. I don't know why. It's not fall break or something, is it already? Why is there only like 3 games on the network this week? I don't know. It's weird. It's kind of a weird deal this week. Then get your Talk Radio WZZN app as well. You'll want that. We've got the NFL as well if you need it. Titans beaten by Malik Willis and the Packers in Nashville. Willis was out of his mind. Of course, Malik Willis went to Nashville and played like a football player. 13 out of 19 for 202 and another 73 yards on the ground on just 6 carries. Really? And Will Levis can't stop throwing the ball to the other team as well. He thinks he's a quarterback for Auburn. Back in that little glass room with the slanted ceiling, playing the Play Doesn't Matter, the stacks of wax, answering the phones, thinking about what he's going to talk about tomorrow on his show. It's Jumpin' Joe Hunk.
Baby shark, baby shark.
Hello, I'm looking for some horsemen.
I've got plenty. How many you need?
4.
4 horsemen. Can't hardly understand what you're saying, but...
Sorry, I got a little bit of a lift.
If I saw myself in clothes like those, I'd have to kick my own ass.
Tom, can you get me off the hook? For old time's sake.
Who in the blue hell are you?
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
What is your name? Detective. It doesn't matter what your name is.
And this is important because let's get that third one. They hit that little tank, hit that heroic ability.
Satisfaction is guaranteed. So passionate.
Jordan! So long, Nashville, Tennessee. You can't have what's left of me. And as far as I can tell,
Spent way too much time in Nashville, Tennessee, Joe, over the last 3 days before my daughter came home from the hospital and going back and forth to St. Thomas and all of that kind of stuff. So could we be, if I joined you and the Bandy Man and Captain Cool, could we be the 4 horsemen? Do you think we would be the 4 horsemen of the radio station if we if we join? And who would I be in the 4 horsemen? Would I be the American Dream? I mean, would I be the guy with the list?
Well, no. American Dream wasn't in the 4 horsemen.
Oh, that's right.
No.
So for Arn Anderson, can I be? Was he? In
Yeah,
the 4
no. Arn was. Arn and Ole Anderson started it. You had obviously had Ric Flair. Lex Luger at one point in time came in and replaced Ole Anderson as well. So no. You can be Arn. Yeah, you can be Arn. He's the muscle. He's the muscle. I mean, Bandy ain't gonna be the muscle. He weighs $105.
Yeah, what is Bandy gonna be? I don't know even if he'd be a 4 horseman. I don't know who. I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe we put Drew in there as one of the 4 horsemen. Who would be the Ric Flair? I would think it would be you.
Yeah, I'll take the Ric Flair. I'll take that.
You would be the Ric Flair.
I'm the most over the top of the when it comes to that. So yeah, absolutely. No, I'll absolutely take that. Yeah, I'll take the Ric Flair. You also got to figure out who would be the Tully Blanchard of this as well, because Tully was the one that I couldn't think of. So that'd probably be John. Yeah. So then you are. So then there you go. You're Arn. I'm Rick. You could be, and then we got Ole is going to be Bandy.
Well, Ole and Arn were related. So
That's
maybe
true.
John should be,
No, John should be because Ole eventually became a booker, and he always had fantastic ideas for a while. So yeah, Ole and Arn. There you go.
Maybe that's how we'll go.
And we'll make him Tully. We'll make Bandy Tully.
All right. Listen, we got a lot to get to. and an hour and a half show, which is like falling off a rock for a guy that used to do 7 hours a day. So let me get a break, and then we'll come back and start with the calls. Wolverine, by the way, I had both his teams this week. I had Michigan on Saturday, and I had the Lions on Sunday. And the Lions covered their 3.5, whatever it was, 2.5 on Sunday, which was a good call. And Paulie in the Cape is up 2, and he can't be too happy with what's left of his beloved Miami Dolphins. Plus Mercury Morris died on top of that. All right, so we'll get a break. We'll come back with phone calls next. 256-576-4977 on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Check out VSiN's catalog of original podcasts, daily and weekly programming to keep you in the know when you're on the go. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
2 NFL games on the schedule tonight, 7:30 Eastern. It's the 2-0 Bills playing host to the 0-2 Jaguars. Buffalo is a 5.5-point favorite. Jacksonville plus 210 on the money line, over under 45.5. Buffalo linebacker Terrell Bernard will sit out. So will cornerback Taron Johnson. Quarterback Josh Allen dealing with an injured left hand, but will play. Jacksonville defensive back Darnell Savage is questionable. So is running back Tank Bigsby and wide receiver Tim Jones. 0-2 Cincinnati is favored by 7.5 at home against Washington. The Commanders plus 290, over under 46.5. Bengals safety Von Bell questionable with a back injury. That's the VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. I'm Chuck Sanders.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopay. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
Tired of the same old menu options everywhere you go? Then you need to try Metro Diner in Huntsville and Madison. The award-winning Metro Diner serves up signature dishes like their Charleston shrimp and grits, famous fried chicken and waffles with strawberry butter, and lots more. Their entire menu is available anytime, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And stop by for brunch on Saturday or Sunday and enjoy the lowest price mimosas in town. Airport Road, Huntsville, and Highway 72 in Madison. In diner or at home, make it Metro Diner.
You need a lawyer and pick up the phone. I'm attorney Gary Lackey. When you call for a lawyer, where does that phone ring? My phone rings in my office.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. My phone rings in my office too.
So does mine. I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. And when you've been hurt and need help, we're the ones who take your call.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This segment of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by the thousands of area residents who have received world-class care from the Valley's most trusted and experienced group of orthopedic surgeons and medical specialists. That's TOC. The Orthopedic Center services the Huntsville Havoc, Alabama A&M, and most of the high schools in the region, with 13 locations throughout the Tennessee Valley, including in Fayetteville, for those who are listening on WCDT, If you have orthopedic problems or are considering professional care, TOC is the only logical choice. Whether you have a work-related injury or got sidelined playing the sport you love, you need the best care, the best physicians, and the best facility to get you back in the game. And I think you'll agree that the Orthopedic Center is right for you. All right, let's go to the phones. We start with Wolverine Dan. Wolverine Dan, welcome to the show. How are you?
Well, I'm doing quite well, Tom. Your monologue's always spot on. I enjoy it. And I maybe my reaction should be Tuesday because I've got to listen to that crap from the coach. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking maybe calling in on Tuesday with a Monday take because I don't know if I want to sit through that press conference again.
Well, to the victor goes the spoils. What can I tell you?
Well, yeah, that's the name of our song, Hail to the Victors.
Yeah.
So with
that was a good win. I thought you'd win that game. That was a good win. I don't know what they're going to do about the passing game, though. I mean, that quarterback you got there wasn't much better than the other one.
Okay, so let's touch on some things. Number one, where do I start? Well, I got a triple fecta for you too. Well, and I'll add. Let's make one more thing before I go to my triple fecta. Paulie, put a fork in it, Paulie. It's done. You're done, Paulie. It's over. Okay, and I'm talking about your Dolphins. Okay, or should I say Mud Skippers? There's nothing there, Paulie. It's done. Now let's move on to real teams. Okay. All right, let's talk about the Michigan game. Oh, pounding ground. That's what that was. Old school pounding ground. Well, that's going to hold well for maybe until we get to a really, really good team, which we played one once before, which I think might win it all, Texas. But the thing is, there is no quarterback. Correct. And that's not good. And, you just stack the line, you stop the run. But I don't know what the deal was, why these guys USC couldn't stop our run. What it was is, the guys up front are offensive, defensive line on this team. We just reloaded there. We got some great linemen and some great running backs. We're just lacking a quarterback. And, Tom, if you had JJ still playing, Tom, very well we could be in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Plus, who knows how far we could have went. Now, with that said, let's move on to a team that, surprisingly, I have not talked a lot about. But guess what? I need to. Because who's in the running for the last playoff spot in Major League Baseball? Tigers.
Yeah.
Tigers, that's right. Minnesota lost a couple games. Tigers stepped in, and they were hot as all get up. And they could easily, if they just keep winning, could be in the playoffs. How about that?
That's something. Yeah, they are. They have been hot. There's no doubt about it. And they're right there right now. And we'll see what happens here in the final week of the regular season.
All right. So then let's talk, of course, about my Detroit Lions. Oh, man. I love the Wolverine Dan deal. I love Danny. Mm-hmm. But I'm really going to love Daniel and the Lions then we win the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So with that said, and the new name for the Detroit Lions team,
yeah,
you know what it is? It's called Bama North.
Yeah, it is kind of Bama North right now. Yeah,
Bama North. It's Bama North, and you know what? That's fine with me. And if we win the Super Bowl, I might even whip out an RTR. Okay.
There you go.
So how about that, huh? So
there you go.
Hey, it's been good talking to you, Tom. Next time I'll call on a Tuesday because I don't know if I really want to hear all that stuff. And Paulie, it's okay, buddy. The Lions will take you, Paulie. Come on our side, okay? Because you ain't going nowhere. Tua right now, he's nothing there. His pineapple's all mushed up.
Remember, Paulie's also a Tennessee Vols fan, so he's got to be feeling pretty good about his Vols.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Just think
all
about
right, brother. Well,
all right, man.
I'll let
Appreciate
Paulie
you.
get out here and rant.
All right. It's a good job by you. See what Paulie's got. Paulie, what's going on?
Thank God we found some evidence that he finally came up with a great idea. Yes, let's wait to hear about him on Tuesdays. Yes, I'm all for it. Number two, yeah, it's a drag. Maybe when someone starts crying about, my future here, trade them, get rid of them, get draft picks, like we did when everybody started crying 3 years ago. And this 3
Wait a
years
minute, you broke up there a minute. You're saying trade who? Tua?
No, I'm talking about when anybody on the team currently starts crying about their future on the team.
I see, yeah.
I'm just saying anyone. go, okay, you want to be traded? Get draft picks and do it all over again. And it's not looking good for the Dolphins.
No.
And the 3-year window is ending this year. This was the one last year. This year was we were supposed to make a move with the package that we have on offense, on defense, and it just didn't turn out that way.
But you got guys under contract. I don't think your window is closing. I'm not going to go there with the window is closing yet. It depends on what's going to happen with the quarterback. I mean, talk to me in 3 weeks, and we'll see if Tua's coming back or if he's done. And if he's done, then you might as well tank. Tank and get a good quarterback in the draft, maybe.
Yeah, and then as far as the that call last night against the Chiefs, it's amazing that they're starting to get the pass on everything so they can win. They seem to be now the NFL's darling, the Chiefs, but that was pass interference, face carding, whatever you want to call it. He has his back turned, he's got his arms on the guy, and his head is right in his chest, and that's not pass interference. That's pretty lame. I mean, they got to start penalizing these referees for missing calls like that. Like, how can you guys miss this call? It was a huge call they didn't grab and take and make, and it allowed them, but granted, Atlanta had 2 chances to do something, and they didn't do it. But that call needed to be made. And how about them Vols? Hey, everybody talked about, this is the big test. Look out. They're going to be real. They go up there and do something in Oklahoma. But, Oklahoma, a perennial powerhouse team that everybody has known throughout the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And they put it on them.
Yeah.
So look
in 2000s, but not a powerhouse team at this moment. I mean, they did. I mean, 350 yards. Certainly 350 yards of offense and 25 points. So they looked human, at least to a certain extent.
And the last thing to say, gosh, I hope Detroit makes the playoffs, and they got to play the Yankees first in the playoffs. I hope that happens.
Yeah, the Yankees are going to be hanging out
tomorrow.
All right, man. Appreciate you. They're going to be hanging out, waiting for the wild card game to be over. Joe, I would hope that even you, a diehard Chiefs fan, would admit that that Brian Cook was all over Kyle Pitts in the end zone on that thing. That's a call that needs to be made. I don't understand how that call doesn't get made. The referee said that the official who was responsible for making a call didn't see the interference. He said that's a real-time call that officials make a judgment on from the angle that they had at the time. They did not feel that there was a foul committed. I don't know how you don't see that that's a foul. I mean, that was pretty clear. That's a ball that's 6 inches off the plate. I mean, come on.
Oh, no, that was 100% of pass interference. I mean, again, he not only hit Michael Pitt, but Kyle Pitts, he hit him, and Kyle Pitts had pushed him back like 6 inches away from where the ball was going to be.
Yeah.
That was a total pass interference on that play.
We need to bring back some sort of review for pass interference. I mean, if they would
actually have a pair to change one of the pass interference calls, but that was the problem, is that they were never actually going to change the pass interference. I very rarely remember any pass interference call that got reviewed getting overturned.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what the answer is to that, but I mean, that's now the back judge who was on that, he's in a bad spot to make that call. When I watch it from behind and I could see how the back judge can't really tell the positioning of the DB. But I mean, anybody that was looking at it from above, I just think that at some point in time, we have to officiate these games from a camera at some time. I know the human element and all of that. That's a game-changing play. That singular play. Now, I know there's 4 minutes to go in a game, and Patrick Mahomes is going to take him down the field, kick the field goal, and win the game anyway. I get that. But that singular, but those of us that picked Atlanta in the Friday trifecta and they beat the big dog are winners then on that thing if you had Atlanta.
Well, and the fact that you had a secondary player on the Falcons team that has intercepted Patrick Mahomes more than any other secondary player in the NFL, and Justin Simmons, who, quite frankly, is the only secondary player that has his number. So there is a true possibility of him getting intercepted on that final drive.
Yeah. I mean, he was not great in that game, but somehow they get it done. All right, we got a break in here. We will come back. Another round of calls. If you want to get in, remember the entire show on Reaction Monday is yours. So if you want to get in. I've got other stuff I want to get to as well, but I'm taking your phone calls at this point. It's the Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Situated downtown on Clinton Avenue, you'll find the Church Street family's take on delicious seafood and more. Sea Salt. At Sea Salt, the food speaks for itself. Fresh oysters, shrimp and lobster, and non-seafood fare. Plus a large selection of wines, regional and local beers on tap, and a full bar. Catch the downtown vibe with Sea Salt's unique outdoor city street and patio seating with a view of Jesse Andrews' mural, bringing an underwater world to life. No reservations necessary. Sea Salt, 114 Clinton Avenue.
Buying that perfect home is one of the most important financial decisions you'll ever make. So it's crucial that you have the right partner to help you through the process. Hi, I'm Stuart Evans, mortgage loan officer for Bryant Bank, and I'm here to tell you that we are that partner. We offer a variety of mortgage products to fit your unique home buying situation in a changing rate environment. That kind of hassle-free approach might not be what you'd expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give me a call today or visit me at our downtown Huntsville office and let me show you what banking beyond expectation is all about.
Bryant Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
You need a lawyer and pick up the phone. I'm attorney Gary Lackey. When you call for a lawyer, where does that phone ring? It might be in a call center somewhere, maybe 100 miles away, but my phone rings in my office.
The Lackey Law Firm.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. My phone rings in my office too.
So does mine. I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. And when you've been hurt and need help, we're here. We're the ones who take your call.
And get what you deserve.
You want to talk to your lawyer. You don't want to reach a call center. With the Lackey Law Firm, that never happens.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And this is the most important part. We'll treat you like family because that's exactly what we are.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And I'll go you one better. If you can't come to us, we'll come to you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
It's time to get ready for game day. That means Alabama football and tailgating. Whether you're tailgating at home or at Bryant-Denny, visit Brooks & Collier for North Alabama's largest selection of premium grills and smokers like Big Green Egg, Blaze, Delta Heat, Memphis, and Traeger. Satisfy any palate with our wall of rubs and seasonings. For all your tailgating needs, visit Brooks & Collier at 813 Meridian Street or at brooksandcollier.com. An Alabama tradition for over 75 years. Roll Tide.
From Coleman to Fayetteville and all points in between.
Son, pull the hammer back. Smokey's coming at you in a plain white wrapper.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Love me some banjo, man.
Well, I'm on my way.
I mean, maybe I'm a bluegrass fan. Deep down at heart, or maybe a little bit of blue. I like a little bluegrass.
And I gotta catch a noon train. I gotta be there on time.
Got a little of that going on. All right, welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. Brandon hit the text window. He said Bandy is Jim Cornette. Who's Jim Cornette?
Jim Cornette, the man with the racket.
Man,
he was a manager.
Racket.
He was a manager with the racket with NWA, WCW, WWE. He was the Midnight Express's manager.
I think Bandy could be Jimmy Hart. You know what I mean?
In the suits.
His hair out a little
we got to
bit.
see him in the suits.
Yeah, he could be Jimmy Hart. Maybe that would make sense. Let's go back to the lines. Grumpy is up next. Grumpy, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, pretty good, man. Congratulations to Wolverine Dan or Natty Dan. Listen, man, peer pressure doesn't affect me. It never did. I'm 56 years old. I got in a lot of tussles when I was growing up because peer pressure didn't affect me, man. I know what I see. I believe what I see, and I comment on what I see. And, going back to when that Alabama player punched that girl in the face and Nick Saban didn't suspend him, and then you had a bunch of people calling the show saying, we don't need stuff like that. You even said, we don't need that guy on the team.
Yeah.
And then when I called in, I said, you guys are jumping the gun here. You don't even know the facts. There may be a perfectly good reason for punching that girl in the face. You don't know the facts. And then Brandon called in and said, I would never punch a woman, and I would drop down on my knees and beg for forgiveness, and went on all that stuff. And then it came out that he was justified in punching that woman in the face. So I use that as an extreme example on me believing what I see and commenting on it. I don't know where Auburn gets another win except Law Monroe. And did you see what Law Monroe did to Jackson State? So I'm not sure we win that one. We lose to Oklahoma. We lose to Georgia. We lose to Missouri. You saw what Kentucky did to Georgia. My point there is Auburn does not do that to Georgia. So when Kentucky's playing at their best, which they will be trying to beat Auburn in a down year, we won't be able to do what Kentucky did to Georgia. They will repeat that, and they will beat us. Okay, moving on to Texas A&M. They'll smoke us. Alabama will smoke us. We'll beat L.A. Monroe, and it comes down to the Vandy game. Do me a favor, you and Hunk. Don't Google it. Just do me a favor and tell me what the all-time record is between Vandy and Auburn history. And just take a guess. There's 43. There's
how many games?
44 games.
44 games. 44 games. I would think that Auburn is 30-14 against Vandy.
What does Hunk say?
Hunk, what do you think?
I would probably say it was almost 500.
Yeah, it's 22 and 21 if you Googled it, Hunk.
I actually didn't Google it at all.
But he's an Auburn fan.
Okay,
so Auburn is Vandy. Vandy has beaten Auburn 21 times.
Exactly, that's my point. That's where Grumpy says, "I believe what I see, and I believe we lose the Vandy game." They're not afraid of us. They will come out hooting and hollering out of that tunnel, wanting to beat Auburn in a down year. And the merit going back to last year. I started this last year saying, look out, man. Hugh Freeze is not getting these players up. I was bumping my gums last year about this. And it's true. The Maryland game, like I've already said, was a total embarrassment. The only thing we've done since last year was we beat the guys from North Huntsville. We beat Alabama A&M. We smoked them. That's the only good thing he's done. Against New Mexico the other week, come on, man. We look pitiful. And this Thorne guy, he's ringing up his passing percentage in garbage time. I was at a wedding. I had to go back and look at the highlights. But, when we got the ball, it was terrible, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's bad. The question will be coming off of a 6-6 year this year, or 3-5, or last year, and 3-5 in the SEC. If they go, let's give them the Auburn win or the Vanderbilt win. If they go 1-7 in the SEC, 4-8 overall, I mean, what do you do? Can't pull the trigger on another coach. That's going to be the question: is can you literally, if they were 4-8, 1-7, can you literally pull the trigger on another coach? How many coaches are you paying? I think you're still paying Gus. All right, hour number 1's in the hopper. Hour number 2 is all yours. So get loose. 256-576-4977 on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that his mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. And check us out at cpcfamily.org.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
In the Army National Guard, soldiers serve part-time and close to home.
My community means everything to me. It helped shape me into who I am today, and is where I choose to raise my own family. That's why I joined the Army National Guard. I'm proud of where I'm from, and as a soldier, I get to give back to the people that helped me succeed. The education benefits I got from serving helped me get my degree and jumpstart my career. The training and leadership skills I've gained from the Army National Guard help me every day when I teach young people, help my neighbors, and look out for my community. I know that when my neighbors need us the most, my fellow soldiers and I will be ready. My family loves it here, and my part-time service means we get to stay here.
Serve part-time in the community you live in as a proud member of the Army National Guard. Talk to your local recruiter or visit nationalguard.com. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard, aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Dolphins dealing with yet another quarterback injury. Skylar Thompson exited the Seahawks game with a rib injury. If he can't play next Monday night against Tennessee, it's not clear whether Tim Boyle or Tyler Huntley will start. Tua Tagovailoa is on IR. He's out at least 3 more games after suffering a concussion in week 2. He does remain in concussion protocol. Browns defensive end Myles Garrett will undergo an MRI today on a lingering injury to his feet that he aggravated yesterday. Not 1, but 2 Monday Night Football matchups to cap off Week 3. Bills host the Jags, 7:15 Eastern on ESPN. Commanders at the Bengals, 8 Eastern on ABC and ESPN+. Number 4, Alabama begins this week as a rare home underdog to second-ranked Georgia in Saturday's SEC Showdown. Crimson Tide's been favored in 90 straight home games, dating back to 2007 against LSU.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryant Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryant Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943.
We cover all the SEC schools, including Western Union and Venmo.
I want that money!
You know, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on. Now live, here he is, the big dog, Thom Abraham.
How you doing? Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like Dale McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my
to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show. The segment of the show is brought to you by the Fine Service Department at Woody Anderson Ford. That would be the award-winning service department at Woody Anderson Ford. Not only can they take care of your Ford and other brand and keep it in perfect working order, they can also take care of bigger problems if you have them. They do tranny work down there. They do air conditioner work down there. They do brake work down. They do it all down. I got a great body shop down there as well at Woody Anderson Ford. And they also have the mobile service. I mean, don't forget the great mobile service where they'll come to you. And with the mobile service, they do things like oil changes and tire rotations and parts replacements, such as windshield wipers or lights. They do all of that at Woody Anderson Ford. You can learn more at WoodyAndersonFord.com. Go to WoodyAndersonFord.com. I know from personal experience that my friend Bobby White spends more time in that service department than anywhere else because he knows how important service is at Woody Anderson Ford. All right, phone lines are open, 256-576-4977. You wanted a Reaction Monday open to you, so Reaction Monday is open to you. You can also react on the text window, which is 7329-TA-SHOW. That's 732-982-7469 for those of you that are Alpha challenged. From the text window, Packer fan took over Nashville this weekend. Badger Larry. You know, that always happens. I mean, you know, we're not, how many years are we into the Titans being in Nashville? Is it like 20 years? Has it been 20? It's not 20 years yet. And no, it is 20 years, 25 years, 20, it's 25 years, right? Did they do like a 25th year thing last year?
Yeah, it's 20. It's 25 years. Sorry, I'm eating my misery away with Lawlers.
So it's 25 years as he eats the Lawlers. 25 years. And look, all I know is I was doing pregame for 5 years down there. Okay, right outside the stadium and all that kind of stuff. Steelers come in, they overrun the place. Cowboys come in, they overrun the place. Packers come in, they overrun the place. Ravens come in, they overrun the place. I don't know how many Jacksonville Jaguars come in, they don't overrun them. Houston, Texas do not overrun the place. Let me tell you something. Colts come in, they overrun the place. I mean, it has been that when the Browns were there the last time, they overran the place. Browns fans. And they sucked then. They kind of suck right now, but that's the way it is in the NFL.
Just name a year. And that's kind of true.
Well, 2 of the last 3 years, they won 11 games, Joe. You know what I mean? They've been a playoff team. But yesterday, they sucked. But you know what? This NFL is nuts. I mean, just think about it. The Raiders went to Baltimore last week and beat the Ravens. The Panthers hadn't led a game in 6 months. The Panthers went to Las Vegas and beat the snot out of the Raiders with Andy freaking Dalton at quarterback. While the Ravens were going to Dallas and running the ball for 300 yards and Derrick Henry with 170 yards. I mean, this NFL is the Saints. Look at the Saints. The Saints were scoring 45 points a game. Their first 2 games, they opened up a can. And we're like, oh, the Saints. I mean, they got some kind of mad offense, the Saints. They scored 12. 12. And 9 of the 12 came in the fourth quarter against the Eagles, who hadn't scored anything in the first 3 quarters. That's a 3-0 game in the fourth quarter. That game, the back number on that game was like 57, Joe. You know what the back number is, right? The over-under.
Mm-hmm.
The total was like 57. I'm just keep talking to Joe while he's eating his long.
No. I'm here with you now. I'm good now. I've already destroyed it. Yeah, I've already destroyed it now.
So 57, we learned that radio thing. You eat an entire meal in 3.5 minutes, plus a bumper.
Yeah. And go to the bathroom at the same time.
While you're eating. 15-12 that game was last night. 27 points yesterday. Eagles Saints, 27 points. Not even half of what the back number was in that game. I mean, you just don't know what you're going to get.
No, and you're right about the Green Bay because I was at the game, and it was surprising at how many Packers fans seriously took over that stadium. I mean, every single time the Packers scored, it sounded like you were at Lambeau. Like there were more Packers fans there, and it was shocking because once I want to say the start of the fourth quarter, whenever the turnover happened, after that, you saw Titans fans leaving, and there were still thousands of fans in the stands, and they were all in green. You could hear it throughout the broadcast and everything. It was ridiculous.
Did you pull a credential or did you go in the stands?
I pulled a credential, and then I snuck in and hid some places. Probably were some place I shouldn't be. So, just doing some stuff. Doing some Joe Hunk things.
Malik freaking Willis. He was so bad with the Titans that they signed Joshua Dobbs to be their quarterback the minute Ryan Tannehill went down. He was so awful for the Titans. And what's he do with Matt LaFleur? 13-19, 202, run the ball 6 times for 73 yards, including a 30-yard run. I mean, he got beat by Malik Willis. Beat the snot out of him. And Will Levis. It feels like Will Levis has as many touchdown passes for the opponent as he does for the Titans right now.
Oh, the first interception was 100% his fault. That matter of fact, D-Hop wasn't even expecting it because it was zone defense. And Levis threw it to the curl route. And even D-Hop was like, whoa, why are you throwing it here? Because he knew that he wasn't going to get the ball when he saw what the defense was.
Well, the other part of it is that honestly, he wasn't that bad outside of, and this is the problem with Will Levis. He is what we call in football the little girl with the curl. He's the guy that can look so good, but football is a game of a half a dozen plays. It's about negative plays. Whoever has the least number of mistakes wins the game. And it sounds terrible because it sounds like it's so negative. You don't win football games. It's like you don't lose football games. Whoever makes the least negative plays wins the game. And Will Levis can look like a world beater for 50 plays, but he makes 3 mistakes that cost you the game. And that's the thing. When you look at him, 260 yards passing, threw a couple of touchdowns, threw a couple of nice looking touchdowns, and a 92.8 passer rating, and then he throws a horrific pick.
Yeah, the pick was ugly. The sack, I don't know how many quarterbacks actually could have held onto the football when a man was coming at you untouched.
He got sacked 8 times, Joe.
He got sacked 8 times. No, it's because you have a god-awful right tackle. And you have his backup is so bad that you have to keep the horrible right tackle in because the guy behind him isn't any better whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then when they finally made the change, that did not help at all. So when you actually saw the part of the third quarter when he was getting time to pass, that was what Will Levis was. The interception at the end of the game was literally just, hey, I'm throwing it up and let's see if anything can happen. That was it. But that fumble, he got absolutely murdered. There's a tombstone right there where that play happened because his right tackle left him out to dry.
Joe, you want to see bad tackle play? Go to my timeline on the X. Okay? Go there to my timeline on the – wait a minute. Let me see if I put it up. Actually, I didn't put it up on there. Forget my timeline on the X. You want to see bad tackle play. I hate to say it because he's a tighter. But Jedrick Wills, he's got one running play where he's got a choice. The guy on the inside shade of him or the guy on the outside shade of him. So he blocks neither. And the running back gets stuffed. And he's just standing there. He starts to block. He reaches out to punch the guy to the outside. Then he steps down to the guy to the inside. Whiffs on both. Doesn't get either one's flag. If it was flag football, doesn't touch either one. And then he just stands there as the running back. Jerome Ford gets destroyed. I had to watch that mess. Deshaun Watson got sacked 8 times, and only 5 of those were his fault for holding the ball too long. They got to make a decision. This NFL it's just, where's the great team right now? But they don't practice all summer long, right? They don't practice in fall camp. They don't play in the preseason games. They don't practice in the summer. So nobody's great. Yeah, the Chiefs are 3-0, but the Chiefs don't look great. Who's the great team in the NFL right now? The Steelers? They scored 20 points for the first time this season. And by the way, it took exactly 3 weeks, Joe, for the articles to start popping. I'm not talking about fanatical Bear fan. I'm just talking about like real people on real websites like ESPN.com and FoxSports.com and things like that to start writing stories. 3 weeks in, start writing stories. did the Bears make a mistake with Fields for Williams? Because Justin Fields is 3-0.
Yeah.
And he you know what? Because he's playing with a team that's a team. That's a great team. Fields is not doing anything. You know, it's Justin Fields. But he was 25 out of 32 yesterday. That's a lot of completions. 25 out of 32, 245 yards. He only ran for 6 yards, so he's not like running around, running out of there. Threw a TD, threw a pick. And now already it's like, did they make a mistake? Justin Fields looked like a disaster when he was with Chicago. Has Chicago had a quarterback since Jim McMahon that was any good? Well, I mean, I'm not even joking a little bit. I mean, I know that the Jay Cutler threw up some numbers. What am I missing? Have the Chicago Bears had a winning type of quarterback since Jim McMahon?
No, actually, they have. I mean, again, Rex Grossman wasn't the winner in that locker room.
No, that was a great defense. They went to the Super Bowl, but he wasn't
And by the way, it's crazy because Justin Fields' completion percentage, he was actually third in the NFL this weekend, without these games that have taken place that are going to take place tonight. He's behind Lamar Jackson, Goff, and then it is Justin Fields.
Caleb Williams was 33 out of 52. He did throw for 363 yards, took 4 sacks, threw a couple of interceptions, threw a couple of touchdowns, threw a couple of interceptions. But they scored no points. You know, and the last I saw, I mean, they scored 16. The last I saw, you need points to win games. You got to figure out a way to and tell me, Joe, you tell me. All right, I'm going to give you some numbers. 167 yards passing on 10 completions. 150 yards rushing on 33 carries. 4 yards a carry. You tell me how the Indianapolis Colts win that football game with 167 yards passing and 150 yards rushing, and they won that football game against the Bears. I mean, there's weird stuff going on in the NFL right now. The passing numbers are way down. Everybody's playing too deep coverage. You can't make that illegal. Mel Kiper wants to make the cover 2 illegal. Wants to make a rule to where the 2 guys have to be within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. Can't do that. But there's some bad football going on right now. And Joe, I think it's because they don't practice. They don't practice football. They don't play football in August. They don't practice. It's always the middle of the season before you start seeing some good football. I'm not seeing a lot of good football right now.
No. And again, it's week 3. And you're still, that's the other problem with this is a lot of these guys are just now starting to get into season shape because not only are they not practicing, they're also, a lot of them are not playing in preseason games. And so trying to figure out who they are is the biggest question mark with a lot of this. And like, even with the Titans, you're going into Saturday or you're going into Monday night's game against the Dolphins. You thought that was going to be an L for you, but now with Tua being gone and Skylar Thompson even got injured during the game the other day, that you're looking at that game differently as long as your defensive or offensive line can give you a millisecond more just to pass the football.
I mean, do you think that ESPN and ABC are trying to flex that Titans-Dolphins game out? I mean, they're a combined 1-5, and you got Tim Boyle going up against, the dysfunctional Titans. You think they're trying to get them out of there, maybe?
I think that Monday Night Football should be flexed anyway. I think that should always be a flex game.
Well, actually, they do now, but it has to be 4 weeks in advance. They are coming up. They have come up with something where they can move a game from Monday to Sunday and a game from Sunday to Monday, but it's like 4 weeks. It's got to be like a month away. We'll have to ask David Moulton about that on Wednesday, but I forget what the rule is.
The Sunday Night Football game should always be a flex the week before, and the Monday Night Football game should always be a flex the week before, just because you want the best games on there, and you should not be sending your Monday Night Football crew. You should not be sending Joe Buck and Troy Aikman to a god-awful location for 2 teams that are 0-3 or 0-4. Let's go to the actual good locations where the good games are going to take place.
All right, so Sunday Night Football can be flexed. Current flexing schedule. Sunday afternoon games can be moving to 1 to 4. Yeah, that doesn't matter. Sunday night football, you can flex up to 2 games between weeks 5 through 10, and at the NFL's discretion during weeks 11 through 17. For Monday night football, it may be used at the NFL's discretion in week 12 through 17. So you can flex a game at the end of the season. So in other words, if it was the Dolphins and the Titans and they were both like 4-win teams, they would get rid of that game. But it's too early in the season now to get rid of that game. So there is a flex for Monday night, but it's late in the season once they figure out, who's good. And I'll give you another team. What about the Buccaneers? I mean, what about the Denver Broncos were a disaster in their first 2 games. They're talking about maybe they rushed Bo Nix. Maybe we need to bench Bo Nix. And what do? They go to Tampa Bay, who is 2-0, and Baker Mayfield playing like an MVP candidate, and they drub the Bucs 26-7. What the heck is that? How can you even bet on this game, on this league? Really, to be honest with you. Now, having said that, you know what Steve Merrill gave his clients yesterday, Joe? He gave him the Panthers plus the points and the Lions minus the points. Even 2-0. How the hell did he know? All right, hour 2 monologue in the bag. We come back. Kramer, excited about the Bills tonight. Let's go Bills. If the Bills weren't wearing a white face mask, I could almost pull for them. Somebody tell the Bills to put a blue or gray face mask or red or something else on that helmet. A white face mask on that white helmet looks ridiculous. Stop it. I'm always looking for a team. When the Browns play like they did yesterday, I start looking for a team. I'm like, who am I going to pull for? Thank God I got the Packers in my 2-hole. Pulled for the Raiders against Carolina. League is bonkers. All right, we get a break. 49ers, they got everybody on the team injured already. Because you know why? Because nobody practices. They don't train in August. Got half the team is out. All the best skill players are out. They're out there beating the crap out of the Rams, and then the Rams come back late in the game, win the game. Nuts. All right, we'll come back. Phone calls are next. Thom Abraham Show.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com. Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
The Drive.
Both those guys have done a good job in what we've asked them to do, and both of them have developed nicely, and both of them have consistently made plays.
Wes and Steve.
Their decision-making, their judgment, their ability not to force things and take what the defense gives and distribute the ball with good decision-making, down in, down out, is probably the only thing that's going to be any different about them, because it's not physical ability or talent. So it's intangibles, leadership, decision-making, judgment, and all those types of things. And, both guys have done a good job in that regard as well.
Listen to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton each weekday afternoon starting at 5. We are your home of ESPN Radio, 97.7 The Zone.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
Tired of the same old menu options everywhere you go? Then you need to try Metro Diner in Huntsville and Madison. The award-winning Metro Diner serves up signature dishes like their Charleston shrimp and grits, famous fried chicken and waffles with strawberry butter, and lots more. Their entire menu is available anytime, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And stop by for brunch on Saturday or Sunday and enjoy the lowest price mimosas in town. Airport Road, Huntsville, and Highway 72 in Madison. In diner or at home, make it Metro Diner.
Segment of the show is brought to you by the Great Americans at Rocket City Federal Solutions. 77 different countries worked in, over 150 projects, 35 years combined experience. It's what you get with Rocket City Federal Solutions. This is what they bring to the table all over the world, headed by their CEO, Jason Largent. I mean, these guys handle everything from IT and cybersecurity to operational and maintenance services for critical infrastructure, assuring optimal performance and longevity. Look, I think these guys could maybe explain what's going on in the NFL. Maybe they could explain it. I don't know. I don't think they could explain what's going on at Auburn, but they can explain what's going on. Don't call me now.
That phone call is the obvious calling, letting you know what the problem at Auburn starts with the guy that's always in the orange hoodie on the sideline. That's where it starts.
Who's the 901 area code? Isn't it like Memphis? It said spam. Isn't it 901 Memphis? I think that's what it is. Stop calling me Memphis. Craig Stevenson says on the X, Auburn fired Gus Malzahn in large part because they weren't willing to wait out Nick Saban. Auburn hired Hugh Freeze in large part because he beat Nick Saban twice a decade ago. Then Saban retired, and Auburn looks worse than it ever did under Gus Malzahn. Some truth to that.
901 is Memphis, so it's Elvis calling.
Elvis is calling.
Apparently, he's still alive from what I see on TikTok.
Auburn fan longing for the days of Gus Malzahn and his 8 wins a year and going to the SEC championship game every 2 or 3 years. Gus, where have you gone? Oh, that's right. UCF. Kramer is excited about them Buffalo Bills playing tonight early, which I really like. I'm not even going to watch Cincinnati and Washington. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm not watching anything called a Commander playing at the Bengals, but I will be all over the Bills game at 6:30. Kramer, what's going on?
Oh, not much. I'm happy as well. Not only, you get 2 night games, right? But then my team's playing at 6, which is great. And then think last week they played Thursday, this week Monday, next week Sunday night. I'm living a great dream to begin the season. I don't have to buy the NFL Sunday ticket this year to be able to see my Bills, so I'm happy about that. Glad they're good.
I have Sunday ticket. I'm wondering, can I get a refund? I bought Sunday ticket. Can I sue the Browns for a refund on that their Sunday ticket and say, you know what? I take it back. I don't need this.
Tom, I think they're already dealing with a lot of other lawsuits when it comes to their quarterback. They may not be able to handle another one.
Can I sue Deshaun Watson?
Yeah.
Did you see that outfit Deshaun Watson had on at the post game? I mean, Cam Newton thinks it's stupid looking. This is the guy. I mean, I'd bench him just for wearing that outfit. I'm going to retweet it, Joe. I want you to go to my X account and see it. Now, go ahead.
Tonight, I think you're getting a glimpse of the MVP this year, I'm hoping, with Josh Allen. And then next week we got Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson. That's going to be a great Sunday night football matchup. I'm just hoping the defense holds up just for one more week. So that's not why I called, though. I'm also on the field tonight, so I'm doing middle school football games. So I got to put my phone on silent. So this way I come home and I catch back up. So I have to do that. I like being on the field, so I don't block my games when the Bills play. I just turn off my phone and I catch up when I get home. But if the score is spoiled, then I'm done for. I can't sit there and watch the game. So
yeah,
that's my
I'm
plan
passing
for
on.
this
I'm passing on doing the middle school game. I can't do the middle school game. My Bills are playing.
Yeah, I hear you,
Just
but
saying.
I need to practice. I'm not that good. I'm not as good as a lot of the other officials. I got to have that practice. So,
Well,
but
I've seen a few games the last couple of weeks that you certainly could have stepped in and done. That's for sure.
Well, that's probably true. But and also with Auburn, I mean, it's a state of affairs. You can't fire Hugh Freeze right now. Like you said, they're still paying other coaches. I mean, that's not even on the table. Can't be on the table. Surely not. They got to give this guy some time. And,
well, I'm not saying now, but what about at the end of a 4-8, 1-7 season? Then what would happen?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this year, no, I just don't think you can. I mean, you got to give him at least one more year. I mean, it's not looking as bad as some of the other, coaching hires across college football. But in saying that, Grumpy, I don't know how Grumpy got his nickname, but man, Grumpy does speak a lot of truth. I mean, every time I hear him on the show, he speaks a lot of truth. I mean, he was talking last year about Hugh Freeze and not getting his players up, and he was mentioning things that are coming to light. So I give Grumpy credit. He does say a lot of truth on the show. So
he speaks the truth.
Well.
He's one grumpy SOB, but he speaks the truth. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, so that's my main reason for calling the show is just give him props because Grumpy always has a good point to make. So I'm always happy to hear Grumpy on the dial.
Yeah.
So, but all right, Big Dog, that's all for me. I'm going to go get ready for finish work, get ready for football, and then get ready for some more football. Living the dream.
Appreciate you. So it's a zero-sum world. Badger Larry had to go to Wisconsin and watch Alabama whip the Badgers last week, but then he got to go to Nashville and watch his Packers whip the Titans. I think he was probably there. Badger Larry, welcome in. How are you?
I'm doing good. Tommy, how you doing?
I'm fantastic.
Well, first of all, I always go to Packer games when they play in Atlanta or Tennessee, and we always represent well when they come. But
Packers travel. Yeah, Packer fan travels.
Oh, yeah, but yesterday was beyond I've ever seen in my lifetime. I mean, that upper deck. I was in the upper deck. I'm telling you, it was 95% Packer fan.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it.
It's embarrassing, and we're to the point now at 25 years. There should be Titan fans that are grown-up Titan fans, and it's embarrassing. It's not like up north where you live and die with your team and you're ready to fight anybody that comes in, that's wearing a jersey of the other team. It's not like that down here. It's like that for the Vols, and it's like that for the Tide. It's like that in the SEC, but Titan fan ain't there yet. And it's been a long. You know who's there more than Titan fan? Pred fan. You go to a Preds game, there's Preds fans there. You go to a Titans game, fans from the other team seem to overrun the place.
Yeah, well, they definitely did yesterday. I can assure you. Because
yeah,
I don't know who. I can't remember what player the Titans have that comes out there at the end of the third quarter to do like this tighten up thing on. He had him on the jumbotron, and he's trying to get everybody to chant. And the Packer fans all like, "Go Pack, go!" And he looked up. He's on the jumbotron. He looks up there. It was hilarious because the place was just. I mean, it was erupting. So it was a lot of fun. So big time.
Yeah, they're
anyway,
maybe Malik Willis can hold it together for a few weeks until they can get Jordan Love back. Maybe it's not so dire.
Yeah, well, I think he'll be back this week for the Vikings. Got to have him for the Vikings.
Yeah, he actually looked really good during pregame.
Now, where is that Viking game? Is it in Lambeau or is it up on the turf?
Good question. I'm not sure.
Hang on, I got it right here. We're supposed to know these things.
Green Bay has it at home.
Okay, so it's on a natural surface. Okay, good. Because I would say if it was on the artificial surface, I'd want to wait another week before bringing them out. But that's going to be a big one. The Vikings are 3-0 for the first time since 2016. So that's a thing right there. The Lions are a good football team. That division looks pretty stout. And then there's the Bears for comic relief.
Yeah. Did you see the video I sent you? If you turn the volume up, they're riding around town. They had two of those big old sightseeing buses rented out. They had the Packer flags on it. And then they're all, this is 9 a.m., by the way. They're all partying on there, and they got the Green Bay Packer polka, "The Bears Still Suck," is the song that they're playing as they're riding around downtown Nashville. It was hilarious.
My computer wants me to download it, and I'm not downloading any videos. It says can't preview file. There's a problem playing this video. Download. I'm not going to download it. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, that was okay. That was
all right.
That was done from my phone, so it shouldn't.
Yeah.
Anyway,
were you on one of those buses? Were you on one of them things?
No, I did not get on one of the buses because I definitely would have if I'd have known about it, but I didn't.
Right.
I was going out of the hotel and saw him going by. I heard a commotion. And I told my son, I said, "Oh, look at this." It was really good. So
yeah.
Anyway,
all right, man.
Good time had by all.
Appreciate you.
Go Pack, go. All right.
We got a break. When we come back, let me update you, Joe. Don't let me forget this because I'm a little scatterbrained right now. Let me update everybody on Beat the Big Dog. What happened in Beat the Big Dog with me and Brandon, and Friday Trifecta winners, because we have 2 big winners and 2 little winners on the Friday Trifecta. So I'll update you on that next, right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Check out VSiN's catalog of original podcasts, daily and weekly programming to keep you in the know when you're on the go. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
2 NFL games on the schedule tonight, 7:30 Eastern. It's the 2-0 Bills playing host to the 0-2 Jaguars. Buffalo is a 5.5-point favorite. Jacksonville plus 210 on the money line, over under 45.5. Buffalo linebacker Terrell Bernard will sit out. So will cornerback Taron Johnson. Quarterback Josh Allen dealing with an injured left hand, but will play. Jacksonville defensive back Darnell Savage is questionable. So is running back Tank Bigsby and wide receiver Tim Jones. 0-2 Cincinnati is favored by 7.5 at home against Washington. The Commanders plus 290, over under 46.5. Bengals safety Von Bell questionable with a back injury. That's the VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. I'm Chuck Sanders.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Oftentimes, the wheelchairs our veterans and first responders receive from their healthcare providers are subpar at best. Some are falling apart, with a years-long waiting list for a new one. This lag causes a tremendous amount of stress for our heroes and creates a burden for their caregivers. Isolation leads to depression. We build what they need to get outdoors, hunting, fishing, or playing sports. Join the mission at wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at JetSuperstore.com.
Here in North Alabama, barbecue is a part of what makes our home so special, and great barbecue from Lawler's makes it just that much better. Since 1978, Lawler's has been serving up their delicious barbecued pork, ribs, chicken, ham, and turkey for generations of family get-togethers. Recognized as the best barbecue joint in Alabama for 2 years in a row, Lawler's is thrilled to share their award-winning barbecue for your next family meal or catered event. Order online or stop by any one of their 14 area locations. Lawler's Barbecue, cooked slow, served fast.
This is Paul Feinbaum. Listen to me coming up today at 2. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
I'm ready for it.
Segment of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by the fine folks at North Alabama Mortgage. And with average home equity at an all-time high, so is the average consumer debt at an all-time high. Those rates are a little higher now, I know that, and they're coming down, but they're not as high as those rates that you're paying for your credit cards or student loans or that kind of stuff. So you can use the equity in your property to pay off high consumer debt, and then you can go ahead and refi later on when the rates drop. Same thing if you're looking at home improvements or maybe to make a purchase of a new home, because as those rates continue to drop on the mortgage side, you know those home prices are going to go up. So get the best deal you can get now, refi later. NorthAlabamaMortgage.com is where you go to find out how to do all of this. It's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com. It can be scary when you deal with something like mortgage. It's not scary when you do it with these guys. I can guarantee you that, because I've been through the experience with these guys. All right. Joe, taking a look at the Beat the Big Dog, it ended up being a tie to Big Dog between Brandon and I. I had Arkansas, I had Tennessee, I had Michigan. I was rolling, and then Sunday happened. I had the Saints. Not good. I had the Titans. Not good. And I had the Falcons, who got gypped. Not good. Brandon had Auburn, not good. He had Tennessee. He lost with USC and the Saints, but he had the Packers and Kansas City. So he does not get fed. He does not get tickets, because it's not tied to Big Dog. It's Beat the Big Dog. And he did not beat the Big Dog. So I moved to
He does not collect $200.
No. So I moved to 7-11. Thank you very much. On the season. And you, the listeners, are now 10-9. The listeners still have a little lead on me. 3-game lead on me. But I'll get you. One of these weeks I'm going to get you. For some reason, I thought I was rolling this week. I thought, oh my gosh, did I just drop a 6-0? Thought I just dropped a 6-0 maybe. Did not happen that way. In the trifecta, we had a couple of guys pick up a point. The Mad Plumber picked up a point. Mongo picked up a point that run his total to 2 points. But Donnie Wood and Kyle each hit all elements, including the bonus of the Packers over the Titans, to score 3 points each, and both got fed. So those two guys are getting fed because those two guys were able to get it done and hit all elements of the give them some love. So the lead is 3, which is nothing in the Friday trifecta. We're just getting started. But Richard and Madison, Kyle and Donnie Wood all have 3. Auburn Mike has 3. Don Swanson and Mongo have 2. And a bunch of other guys are on the board. Scotty's on the board. Bama Chris is on the board. The Plumber is on the board. But Martinez is on the board. Okay, long way to go. And you know what happens with this deal. As we get towards the end of the season, I start putting in all kinds of bonus stuff in there, make sure everybody stays close. Just the way it is. Make sure everybody stays close in that deal. All right. Let me just see what other notes I have. I want to hear what Kirby Smart had to say today. Oh, let me get a couple of these things in here, though. Tom Brady yesterday. Who watched the Ravens and the Cowboys yesterday? We should have known that this would happen with Tom Brady because he's Tom freaking Brady. Tom Brady yesterday was infinitely by 5 times better than he has been in week 1, 3 times better than he was last week. He is getting better and better. And I'm just here to tell you right now, he brought emotion. He used some terminology that we didn't know, and used some language and said, this is not bad language. I mean, language about, nomenclature. Okay. Is that a better word? He used some football nomenclature referring to different plays, and that's called a this, and this is called a that. And he anticipated some things and he showed emotion, and the pauses weren't as long. Tom Brady is improving every week. Now I'm starting to feel like Tom Brady's going to be pretty good. If he sticks with this for more than like one season, I think it'll be pretty good. $37 million a year. Twice as much as any other broadcast. Twice as much as Troy Aikman. Twice as much as Tony Romo. $37 million a year. They would have had to pay John Madden $50 million a year right now. Kramer said, forgot to mention the Bills travel well. Always pack out Nisa. Oh, they do. You ever been to a Bills game in Nashville? Oh, they do. Go to a Bills game in Nashville. The Mafia travels very well. The Bills Mafia, that is. Grumpy says, Gus Malzahn? Are you kidding me? I'm considering having Brian Harsin again. No, we don't want to go there. Let's not be silly. Joe, if I told you could have Gus Malzahn right now.
Oh, I'd rather go coachless. Don't have anybody.
Like in the old days?
Yeah,
like in the old days when the kids ran the whole thing and the coach had to sit in the stands?
Yep. I don't want either one. And I would also love to have a donor be gone as well, because he's part of the reason this is all getting screwed up.
Joe, I'm reading the Era Precision book. We had the author Mark Hubbard on a little while ago, and I finally got around to the book. So I'm reading the book, and there's a lot of fascinating pull back the curtain moments in it. And there's some things that I didn't know. They say you should learn something new every day. I'm 64. I was an old 63. I'm a young 64 now. And I'm learning stuff. And I've been, I was a coach for a long time, and then I've been on the air for a long time. I've been around football for a long time, and I'm learning different things, some things I didn't know. Did you know, and this is pre your time, but I was a little kid then. Did you know that previous to 1967, that a coach could not call a play from a sideline in college football?
No, but I like that idea. I like that idea at Auburn. Let's go with that one.
That's in my lifetime. I mean, it's not like, I'm not talking about 1930. I'm not talking about fold your helmet up and put it in your back pocket when you leave the field. Up until 1967, if a coach called a play from the sideline, it was a penalty. In a game, there was one game with the Era Precision in Notre Dame where the receiver went out of bounds right near the bench, and Era grabbed the guy before he ran back into the huddle and gave him a play. Right, 88. He gives him the play, and they threw a flag on him because you can't give the guys a play. And there was no signaling in plays. Or can you imagine this day and age with now, of course, we got the helmet communication, but with the signage and all that other kind of stuff and holding up signs. So Era Precision and Notre Dame and the coaching staff, they developed a secret code system for Era to send plays in from the sideline to the quarterback. And get this, they would huddle. This is the reason why back in the day, how you always wonder, like you get in a huddle when they had huddles, they get in a huddle. You always notice how the quarterback would be on a knee. Why is the quarterback on a knee? You know what I mean? It's like, why isn't the quarterback? I mean, does he have to get on a knee for everybody to hear him? You ever notice that? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, absolutely. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Quarterback's in the huddle. He's on a knee. The reason the Notre Dame quarterback would be on a knee, and he always was facing his sideline. So depending on what direction they were going at, he was always facing his sideline. He would literally get on a knee, and he would look through the legs of the player to the sideline, and Era Precision would signal in a play secretly by doing something like putting his hands in his pockets meant one thing. Folding his arms across his shirt meant another thing. If he, you know how he had, Era Precision always had that Notre Dame, written in script arched across the top of his jersey. If he reached over and he scratched the M on Notre Dame, that meant something else. The notes, he had notes that he kept like in his belt that had a white, there was like a white, I don't know, 8x10, like I'm holding up for you, those who are watching on WCZN TV. He'd have a white game plan. It would be folded in half like that, and he would stick it in his belt. If he touched it a certain way or lifted it up, that meant a certain play. They were cheating. Notre Dame was cheating.
We're being smart.
In front of God, they were cheating. Era Precision was cheating. But yeah, that was, and it wasn't until 1967 that a coach was allowed to send a play in. And back before that, if you go back even further, I have the website on it. I'm going to save it all. Some of his precepts were fascinating about football is all about possession and position. And it makes perfect sense. Possession and position. Possessing the ball for long periods of time is very, very important to winning football. And it's like his philosophy was just because you can score fast doesn't mean you should score fast. It's position on the field and the amount of possession that you have. Keep your defense off the field.
So far, you're saying everything that's the opposite of what Auburn does in football. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. It's really kind of crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's fascinating. They need to read. Hugh Freeze needs to read the Era Precision book.
He needs to read a lot of things.
Yeah.
And a pink slip would be a cool thing for him to read.
Yeah, it would be good.
I'd like for him to read that.
Fascinating stuff. But even before that, going back even further, like to the 30s and stuff, 30s and 40s, the coach had to sit in the stands. Coach couldn't even be on the sideline. You trained your team up, and then you would be on the sidelines. I mean, that was the way it was back then. And it was the great Red Blake. Okay? The great Colonel Red Blake. You know who Colonel Red Blake was?
He was a colonel.
He was the famous coach of Army back in the 40s and 50s when they would win, national championships and stuff. When they actually had student athletes, when you had to actually get into school to play then they played. It wasn't like you went and got kids off the playground and told them that they could be college men. Okay, the great Red Blake said this about play calling. Even after it became legal, he said this about play calling. He said, if the coach has worked properly with his quarterback, he knows more about running the works than does the coach. Interfering with the quarterback destroys his confidence. He loses faith in his coach when the bench falters. The continuous shuttling of players for the purpose of communication makes a bad impression on spectators. They get the feeling that the men in the field are nothing more than pawns for the geniuses on the bench, most of whom are horrible chess players.
So are you saying that it'd be wrong for, say, a coach to just, possibly do like a press conference and just say something about along the lines of, I don't know, like they probably need to find somebody that's not going to turn the football over?
Yeah.
Okay, that'd be bad. You wouldn't. Okay, just double checking.
That's the opposite of if the coach has worked properly with his quarterback. That's the opposite of that.
We know the answer to that one.
How about Colonel Red Blake? You train the men so that they understand the game plan and what they're supposed to do. Then you let them play. Oh my gosh. What the heck is that?
That's also the direct opposite of what was happening at Auburn, because they don't train anybody.
That's good, Bray. We'll come back. Final segment is next. Maybe we'll get a little less Kirby Smart. Let's hear what Kirby Smart had to say. See if there's anything other than coach speak in there with old Kirby Smart. Maybe we'll get it in. Thom Abraham Show. Back with more in a moment.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Are you feeling tired? Are you feeling sluggish? Gentlemen, Game Day Men's Health. Game Day Men's Health is here to help you. Braden is here. Braden, you've got the answers.
Thanks, Scott. Whether it's low T, erectile dysfunction, weight loss, or a number of other things, we have the solution for them.
It's Game Day Men's Health. Give them a call today at
256-850-1570.
You can find them online.
GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
Hey, what man wouldn't like to have tests done in a man cave?
That's right. Come in for your free test and consultation, walk into a world-class staff, a comfortable, relaxed environment, and we got your results in about 20 minutes with appointments less than an hour.
And the big game is always on the TV. It's Game Day Men's Health. Give them a call.
256-850-1570.
You can find them online at GameDayMen'sHealth.com/Huntsville/The Zone.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of iconic casinos, world-class shows, dining and entertainment. Las Vegas, with flights starting as low as just $79. Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Las Vegas. Book nonstop to Las Vegas now at flybreeze.com.
Embark on a flavorful journey at the Brewers Cooperative, located within the vibrant community hub of Stovehouse in Huntsville. Their brewery isn't just about crafting exceptional beers. It's a destination where culinary delights and local brews harmonize. Whether you're seeking a laid-back lunch or a lively dinner with friends, their diverse menu has something to please every palate. And with a commitment to quality and a passion for innovation, they invite you to savor the unique flavor of Huntsville's craft beer scene at the Brewers Cooperative.
Thom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Listen to the Bama Recap Show, presented by Lawler's Barbecue.
The tackle, Williams, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns, 2 electric early
on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Some of the show is brought to you by Owen Home Appliance Center. Are your new school clothes for your kids wearing out that old washer and dryer? It's time to get off the bus at Owen Home Appliance Center and learn what a new Speed Queen washer can do for you. They're in stock and are ready for delivery. By the way, they got washing machines down there where they wash and dry the clothes at the same time. Don't ask me how they do it. It's a miracle. I don't know. It's somehow they do it. At the Owen Home Appliance Center, quality products, quality pricing, quality service. It's in the name of Owen Home Appliance Center. They got 2 locations to serve you on Highway 36 in Somerville and the interactive showroom, which is on Highway 231 in Lacey Springs, 8 miles south of the bridge. Joe, that's a true story. Have you ever heard of that? They got washing machines now where the same machine washes and dries the clothes.
No, never heard of that. Ever.
Doesn't that sound cool?
That sounds awesome. Especially if it goes right into it immediately after the wash is over with. So it doesn't sit in the washer for 3.5 hours before you remember that you wash clothes.
It gets all funky.
Not saying that happened to me over the last couple of weeks, but I mean, hey, that just kind of, it's just an example.
What do you mean happens to you?
It happens all the time. No, It happens.
How does it happen to you? You're married, aren't you?
Yeah, no. And so,
You got a wife? Huh?
well, see, and I also have a wife that has very strong nostrils. So there's certain things that she just can't do just because
but your
makes
wife
her sick.
Your wife has a gig, right? I mean, your wife works. Does she work? Or
Yeah,
not?
no, absolutely. No, she's in medical research. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't even know where the washer and dryer is in our house. I'm just saying, I'm not allowed near it. I'm not allowed near the thing. All I know is that every once in a while, when my wife will go visit one of the kids or something like that, and I'm left here for a couple of days, she goes, if you touch the washing machine, make sure you leave the door closed. You can't leave. No, make sure you leave the door open. I think I got to leave the door open. That's what it is. Leave the door open because it'll get funky in there if you leave the door closed, when it's not washing clothes. That's what she told me. But I don't have, but this thing here, it takes longer. It's in there for like an hour and 10 minutes or something like that. But it washes the clothes and then it dries the clothes all in one fell swoop. You push the button one time, wash and dry the clothes. Now, here's the one thing it doesn't do, Joe, when it does that. It doesn't dry with heat. Somehow it dries like a microwave. I don't know. It doesn't dry with the heat. So you don't get that. Like if you like to put a towel in the dryer and you have a nice hot towel or warm towel when you get out of the shower, it doesn't do that. You're not going to get that part. But it'll dry the stuff. True story. All right. Forget Kirby. You'll hear Kirby later on. You know Molten's going to give you all the Kirby you need, so you can get Kirby. That'll happen. Text window. Hard to be an Auburn fan right now, but then again, I've been a Cleveland Browns fan since I was 10. So I got lots of practice. Oh, that's miserable. Oh, my God, what a miserable existence. Oh, that's awful. That would be terrible. Let's see if there's any others that I want to read. Tom, I don't know if there are any escort services in Lee County, Alabama, but hopefully they took Coach Hugh Free's school cell phone away from him after Saturday.
No, I don't want them to take it away. You put that up there. You want him to use it. You need him to use it.
Oh, that's wrong. That's just wrong. All right, coming up next, Paul Feinbaum. For Joe, I'm Tom. Have a great day, everybody.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Dolphins dealing with yet another quarterback injury. Skylar Thompson exited the Seahawks game with a rib injury. If he can't play next Monday night against Tennessee, it's not clear whether Tim Boyle or Tyler Huntley will start. Tua Tagovailoa is on IR. He's out at least